is it permissible for a group of Muslim youth to socialize if they are of opposite genders? If they are of opposite genders. A group of Muslim youth. So here again you have a very relevant question. It depends on the situation. What is meant by socialize? Now I'm going to speak about this in terms of extremes. On the one extreme, socialize could be a group of friends, boys and girls, and they could potentially be girlfriends and boyfriends, and they're going out together, and they have a car and they're going out in the town together, so they are essentially alone couples with one another. That is of course going to be haram. On the other hand, if there's a class excursion and there happens to be boys as well as girls, but there's control, the boys are walking separately from the girls, or they sit separately in the bus, and there's a certain level of control. These are two very different scenarios, okay? And what we need to learn in order to guide ourselves through not only these extremes but everything in between is the following paradigm. So the Prophet Muhammad said, "Innal halala bayyinun wal harama bayyinun." Indeed, the permissible and the impermissible are crystal clear. And then there are matters in between. بَيْنَهُمَا أُمُورٌ مُشْتَبِهَاتٌ. In between them there are matters which are unclear. And he said that many people don't know how to navigate these matters, right? And in the case where you don't know how to navigate those matters, then whoever avoids doubtful matters has preserved their deen and their honor, and whosoever enters into doubtful matters will eventually enter into haram. أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. Now, for us to get into a sense of navigation, to understand how to navigate this gray area, my suggestion is to take the following key points. Number one, is there going to be khalwa? Khalwa means male and female being alone, or practically alone, right? Alone or practically alone. What do I mean by that? Alone is when they are actually alone, and practically alone is where there are others, but they are so close together and they have so much privacy, and they don't really, the presence of others won't deter them because perhaps the others are also preoccupied with haram. Then that's practically alone, okay? So if that is the case, then you should avoid such circumstances altogether. Then if there's so much free mixing, right, that strange people or people who may get married to one another are practically rubbing up against one another, or having personal conversations with one another, very close and intimately with one another, such as sitting next to each other on a bus, even when it could be separated, or perhaps sitting next to one another on benches and so on, or in a theater, for example, without any form of separation whatsoever. Those circumstances also try to avoid. And then beyond that, we can, inshallah ta'ala, apply some discretion and flexibility. Wallahu subhanahu wa ta'ala a'lam. For more detailed circumstances or scenarios, please do visit the Seeker's Guidance Answer Service, and you'll find many answers about free mixing and gender interaction and the like, and Allah knows best.
La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah.